Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mommies by Nature. I'm Erica,
And I'm Tavia.
and we're two moms that are doing it again over 40. Um, so, again, we're here.
Got your age today, huh?
Yeah, I'm like over
That's good.
40. I'm not trying to
That's
give
good.
all the details, you know what I'm saying? But just here to share some what we kind of deal with as mothers. Both of us have adult children and a young one. And so we're here. It's finally spring, close to summer. I'm excited. We got an 80-degree day today.
Mm-hmm.
This Maryland weather has been up and down and all around. And
Shady.
right? I'm like, dag, I can't even pack my winter clothes away.
Right.
Anyway.
Yep. Just had on a coat, day before yesterday?
Yeah. So I'm glad we got an 80-degree day today, and it's beautiful outside, and just glad to be back with you guys. It's been a minute since we recorded, I know. So how you been doing?
I'm doing good. I've been keeping myself pretty busy lately, helping out some folks and volunteering. So I've been pretty busy, staying occupied. Little one at home, keeping me busy. The older ones, they decided they didn't want to be with mommy right now. So they're out enjoying themselves, I guess, doing them, adulting now since they're over 21. And I just been having fun with the little one.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm good. I have one adult in home right now. She's living her life. And the baby girl, she's doing good. She's pulling up on stuff. She's 9 months now. We are impacted by the formula shortage.
Oh, wow.
I really wasn't feeling it until like last week. We called Costco because like we were first using Enfamil, and then we went to Costco's Kirkland brand. And we had just getting low. And so dad went to the store and he couldn't find it. So we were calling around trying to find it. We called Thursday morning because I was at work, and they were like, okay, we have 42 in stock. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna wait till I get off. He was like, should I go get it? I was like, I think I'll be able to get it when I get off. So I go rolling up in there about 6 o'clock. None. So the lady was like, I asked somebody, I'm like, where would it usually be? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, it would be out there. It says we have 5 left. So they didn't have any. I went to several different stores. I called all around. They didn't have any. So I just ended up stopping by Walgreens, and they had something similar.
Wow.
Go with that. And then I had my daughter who lives in another state to go to the Costco there.
Mm-hmm.
She was able to find 2. They limited it to 2 a day per household.
Wait a minute. So is this like the paper towel and toilet paper situation? Like people are hoarding the.
I saw somebody on Instagram selling that out of the back of a truck.
Are you serious?
Serious.
Baby formula.
Okay.
This is crazy.
So my daughter got 2 of them, and when she went back to get more, they didn't have them. So at least we know we got 2 coming, and I'm going to try it again this week because I'm sure they're getting shipments every couple of days, but they're only getting shipments of like 40. So, it made me think though, like, what about the low income mom? The moms that are like in places where it's hard to get to, you got to be jump on the spot to get that stuff like right away. And babies that have needs like sensitive formula and all that stuff. It's a scary situation. Like, it makes me sad for the people that might not have access. Like we're lucky enough to be in a place where we can, drive around and look for different, look at different stores.
Yeah.
Other people might not have that ability. So
And that just reminds me of like when I was right before I had my daughter, I started loading up on like Pampers and
Mhm.
wipes, and people would make fun of me. They were like, the baby's not even here. You still have like 4 more months to go. So why are you buying all of this stuff? And I was like, because I just want to be prepared.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, I never imagined people not being able to have access to baby formula. I
Yeah.
mean, for me, I did have to buy formula for the boys um, as early as like what 2 months or so, because I tried to breastfeed them, but it didn't work out because it was two of them and I didn't get the encouragement that I needed from the doctors and everything. So it was tough, and I was
Mhm.
much younger, moving around more. So this time though, I made it a point to do what I needed to do to breastfeed her. So, and I know you did too, but
Mhm.
there comes a point, and I think we talked about it the other day, where you just start to dry up a little bit, because when you have to go back to work, your
Yeah.
supply isn't as what available as it was in the beginning when you were at
Mhm.
home and pumping more regularly.
Mhm.
So, oh man, that's crazy. But there's a lot of girls and women who don't breastfeed, who can't breastfeed.
Yeah.
So, I
And
mean,
choose not to, which is a fine choice. It's just like, but
yeah,
when it comes to situations like this, it's scary.
yeah.
My daughter has shared a recipe for somebody was making formula on Twitter. She shared a recipe of formula that she was making. I'm just like, I'm not quite there yet. You know what I'm saying? I know some people, like, okay, you try to make for I don't know, but I just don't see myself doing it, you know.
What was she using? I'm curious to know that.
I'm curious too. Like, I have to pull up the
Yeah.
recipe. I looked at it briefly, but I'm like, I'm not making a damn phone.
Was it pet milk by chance?
I don't know.
Because do you remember like back in I don't know what my parents used to use, honestly. I've never really asked. I don't know if I think they were making Enfamil and stuff by the time I was born, but I know during their times, I think they used canned milk and water.
Oh
So
no, I think it was like some different types of powder, and then like sea moss. So I kind of remember like a few of the ingredients, um, but I can't remember all of them. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, you can try what you want with your baby. I'm just not sure I would, because once you put it out there, people are like, I use that formula recipe and so,
mhm.
but it could be not so great. So
Yeah. Especially when you talk about putting sea moss and stuff in it like that. Like I've never seen a baby formula I've never heard of it being given to infants. So I wouldn't, yeah.
I haven't either. And I can't, it's a lot of people out here, more power to them, but
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people toting recipes and this and that. And I can't
Yeah.
not not take that chance. And I was thinking like, is it hypocritical of me to feel like that? But I'm like, formula is tested by the FDA and approved, right? So I would think, there's some kind of scientific,
Wisconsin. Yeah.
yeah, they
Yeah.
have to be regulated by something. And when you just find recipes on the internet, it's like, you know.
You have to be careful. But the other thing about the FDA approving it, and I'm not trying to speak against the government or the agencies that um, we are supposed to believe have our best interests in mind, but there are herbal remedies that I know that people have used for ages
Mhm.
and they work, but they
Mhm.
aren't backed by the FDA because they don't test them.
Right.
So I mean, I guess it just depends on what feels safe for you. I don't know.
Mhm. I agree.
I mean, I've heard of cases where children are being taken away from their parents because they have certain rituals or routines or habits But I mean, hey, if it works, I guess it
Yeah.
works. And hopefully people don't put things out there that are detrimental to children.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't think that. I think, I think she uses it and it's good for her. I just,
You just never know though. People
you just don't know. I
yeah.
mean, you just don't know how your baby will react. I mean, I guess it's like anything else.
Yeah.
Um,
Even the formula, because you just don't know. I couldn't give the twins formula because not regular formula. I couldn't give them like the Similac or Enfamil, and their pediatrician kept trying to tell me just keep giving it to them because they'll get used to it. And I'm just like, no. One of the boys had gas so bad that it kept me up at night, and I was like, look, you don't have to sleep with this child.
okay.
The only option that I had was to give them Prosobi, which is soy milk. So that was the only thing that was available at the time when I had them. So they survived. And I know
thrived. They're good.
Yeah, a lot of people feel a certain way about soy milk and especially giving it to boys. But I mean,
really? What? I mean, I've never heard that.
Because of what's in it, I think because soy contains like estrogen or something. So it induces or enhances the estrogen in your body or something. So what they say is or what I've heard people say is that it, for one, may give them breasts, make them start growing breasts, and it makes them start acting more feminine. I've never done a study myself, but I mean, hey, all I know is I was drinking soy and I still kept getting hair on my face and stuff. So, I mean, it's like, am I turning more feminine or am I turning more masculine? Like, what is it doing? Maybe it had an adverse reaction on me.
This ain't it.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I don't think I need to go back to drinking soy. See, it wasn't working for me.
Right. That's crazy. I hadn't heard that. Like,
really? Yeah.
I mean, because it's like you said, Layla had gas really bad too. And it was like whatever it takes, okay, to get her to
be able to sleep,
her some comfort and be able to get her to sleep. That's what I need to do. So they had this little thing called the Wendy. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
It's like this little thing. It's like a little plastic tube.
Oh no.
To stick it in the baby's butt.
Oh no.
And release the gas.
What?
And so, like when you're new on the scene or newly parenting again, new birth, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for remedies because I'm like, okay, she's up all night. She's like really struggling. I tried gripe water. I tried everything. And I'm like, okay, let me give this Wendy a try. And Wendy in there, and it's supposed to start whistling. And it was just painful for me to do as a parent. And so I was just like, I'm not using them. Things are like $20. They're like little plastic tubes. You're supposed to stick them in there. And I'm just like, you know what? That's it for me. So I had a few formulas, but I think it was like the air. I think it's just a period of time that she went through that it was just like not a good time.
It's so funny because I always tease my baby girl. Like when she's passing gas, I tell her she's making butt music, and she just that's the funniest thing. Like, you making music with your butt again? But yeah. So the thing about that is like, what about? I mean, people are going to come up with all kinds of remedies and workarounds and stuff to sell things to, just to make money. So I'm just like, how much encouragement is it out there? Now, this is why you were breastfeeding, right? That she was getting so much gas, or did it come from the formula?
This is why I was breastfeeding. It was just like at a point she just was getting, just uncomfortable all the time. But I've since learned that might be just like this 8-week thing that they go through for a period of time where they're just cranky all the time at a certain time of day.
Mhm.
Anyway.
So I'm just wondering though, what was it? Was it something in your diet you think that was being passed through the milk that was causing her to have so much gas?
Well, I was thinking that it could be. So I stopped dairy for a while.
Yeah.
I stopped dairy, and that helped. But still it didn't stop it all the way. And
Yeah.
I think that it was just that her intestines needed to develop. I guess different babies develop differently. And so once she was able to pass gas a little more easily, then we had an easier time like sleeping and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of sleeping, is she sleeping all night?
She was sleeping all night, so we've been going through some sleep adventures. We tried to do sleep training like 7 months. And I bought this book called The Happy Sleeper by recommendation of my pediatrician. And it recommends this way of like laying her down when she's sleepy, not like drowsy, not all the way asleep, fed, bedtime routine, whatever. And then you lay them down and then you give them time in the crib, you tell them good night and then you walk away.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Of course, she screamed. And then every 5 minutes you go back in and you say the same phrase or whatever. Night night, love you, and then you walk out. Mm-hmm. So that whole piece of cry it out, like there's a method called cry it out, which is like, they named all these things, but we know what they are, right? You
walk it out.
You leave them in there and they just cry until they go to sleep. This method is more like humane, I guess, in that you go in and check every 5 minutes so they don't feel abandoned.
Right.
And you don't stay too long. You just peek in there. Hey, I'm here. Go to bed. And then they start screaming more.
Hey, don't leave me.
Wait.
That's a little torturous. I mean,
I know. So we tried that. By the second week, she was going to sleep. We put her to sleep at 7:30. She went to sleep and she was sleeping through the night. It was good. It was great for a couple of weeks. Then my daughters came home and things just got thrown off. Like she was excited that they were here and, then she was popping up in the middle of the night. And since then, this has been 2 months now. And she started teething.
Oh.
So since then, she's been back in the bed. Now she's laying like vertically, like we look for
back in the bed.
No. Yeah. So we lay vertically. She's laying horizontally already, taking up half the damn bed. So we've gone back to like trying to get her back to a 7:30 bedtime because the other thing is that she was staying up, bouncing around. So I'm like, okay, we have to get her back on schedule. So we're back to our bedtime routine, trying to get her down at 7:30 because the sleep experts and, I've been reading all these blogs. They talk about like how they really shouldn't stay up past 7:30, 8 o'clock. The prime time for them to go to bed is like 7:30 because then they get overtired or something. But they also talk about these wake windows, like the amount of time they should be awake from the time that they take a nap. So it's just it's very interesting, but it's like it makes you have to be very scheduled, like very regimented. Like, okay, she's been up for 3 hours. Boom, she's got to go now for a nap. And I just don't really live my life like that.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like these sleep, I guess, what were you calling it?
Sleep training.
Sleep training. Like, I don't remember. Now, sometimes I wish that I had done some kind of sleep training with mine, but for one, I think that you have to be pretty organized, almost like militant. I'm not a militant style person either, so that's not the background I had. So I'm more relaxed, and I think that it came from my mother's style of parenting. So she had us, and she'll say it all the time, I let y'all stay up all night so you could sleep, so I could sleep. And I'm just like, why did you do that? Now I could just sleep. I just want to sleep all the time. But I mean, honestly, I think that it is better to get them in bed earlier so that they feel like they've had enough sleep by the time it's time to wake up. Now, I still am not so organized. I'm working on being more organized. And I want to start getting her, she's older, she's 5 now. So I know that while she's with dad, he gets her in the bed a little earlier, for one, because he has to travel a further distance to get her to school. But for me, I live right around the corner from it. So she can sleep longer with me, but I know that it may start to affect her and throw her off just a little bit. I'm not sure about how much time. It's not that much of a difference in the schedule, but I think it would be better if I could get her in bed a little bit earlier. Like 7:30 for her right now is dinner time. So, and it's not always at 7:30 either, but I try my best to have her on that same schedule, at least having dinner no later than 8 o'clock, so she can be in the bed by 10:30. And a lot of times that don't happen, but we're working on it. I think that it's important to be organized in more than just one area, and more than just trying to develop better sleep habits. You have to just be overall more organized in your life. So I'm working on that. So I have to start somewhere. So it's like baby steps to, working my way up to it. So I'm going to start tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I am trying to start real soon, getting her on a better sleeping schedule, as far as getting her in bed just a little bit earlier, so we can get her up a little bit earlier, so she can just be in the habit of getting up earlier, so we don't have to rush all the time to get to school. But and plus it allows her more time to like wake up. But when she was she slept in the bed with us for quite some time, not too long. I think we got her out of the bed. She did have a bassinet that we kept beside the bed. So we would I think later on, maybe when she was close to about 2, it was time to try to get her out of the bed, even though she would sneak her way back in there. It was easier with the boys because they were twins. They had each other to sleep with. For her, she was more lonely, and she just wanted to keep coming back in the bed. So it got kind of difficult for us. So we started having to sleep in separate rooms because she just wanted to be with somebody. That whole sweatshirt and sweater thing and something with mommy's daddy scent on it, that wasn't gonna work. So she just wanted to be in the bed with a body. So, but now it took some time. It took at least, I thought it was maybe 2, but I think it was a little bit after 2. It took her to finally want to sleep by herself. Maybe she was probably around close to 3, I guess. She was finally able to just sleep every night by herself. So now she'll come in my room sometimes. For the most part, though, she'll climb up in that bed and just fall out.
Well, that's good.
The other night, she had me cracking up laughing. She had her little eye mask on, and she got in the bed like this little grown thing. But she put her eye mask on and got into bed and went to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, finally got your freedom then, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, that's one thing you said that we are having issues with too, is that whole separate sleeping thing. As like I said, she ends up in the bed and she's laying like horizontally, and like if he stays up later than I do, he'll come in and she'll be laying like horizontally or, in the bed. And he's like, oh, well, I don't want to disturb her. And then he'll lay, sleep on the couch or something. And so I'm like, this is not ideal. You know what I mean? Like,
gotta do something.
Yeah.
It's got to change.
And she has my robe in her, she keeps taking my little clothing and stuff and putting it in her crib.
Oh.
Yeah, but it just depends like on the night, but it's like now she's gotten to the point where it's like at 12:30 at night, she's getting up. I see her little fro coming over the horizon.
Yeah.
Popping up, and I try to like lay real still. So, but the thing is that she's in our room too. And so that's another issue that we have to address. Now with the girls, I was like letting them co-sleep. They were sleeping in our bed. They were sleeping in our bed. And then once me and their father broke up, then they were just sleeping with me for a while. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to have to break them. But it was good because it was the two of them. And so once I got them sleeping in their bed, like in the middle of the night, they would come running in my room, one and the other running in the room to get in the bed. I'm like, oh Lord, when am I going to break them of this?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do the right thing. It's hard though, because
it is
lonely and all that kind of stuff. I don't like to see her cry.
Yeah, but I mean, I think she'll eventually get used to it because you can't go up until 5 years old, and I think that the more you let her just be more independent. Maybe you could try, what about the baby monitor? Do you put the monitor in and just say things like, shh, it's okay and mommy's here? Or
well, I mean, we go in there and check in, but like once we get her down, she's usually okay. And then like say for instance, last night she woke up at 10:11. She woke up, she cried a little bit, and then she laid back down. Yeah. So it's like the other thing is not rushing in right away.
Right.
Once she wakes up, like, and I read this somewhere too, it makes perfect sense. Like we all wake up during the night, but we all put ourselves back to sleep. And so the only time I'll do it if like she cries for a long time, I'll go in. Usually if she wakes up like that, I just let her cry herself back to sleep. I've gotten quite good at ignoring it, to be honest with you.
Well, and to be honest with you, I still wake up and cry in the middle of the night. So
that's a different episode.
Okay. Oh man, don't take her to the therapist yet. I don't think she needs to see her just yet.
Not just yet.
Are you going to continue doing it? Like, have you stopped, or are you still doing it?
I'm still working on it. I mean, I think it's a work in progress. Like I said last night, we got her down at 7:30. It's a process of making sure she has her naps at a certain time, making sure she's fed. So it's keeping me honest in my scheduling, and making sure that she has her bath, she reads her book, we read her book, she has her bottle, and she's down. So it's all about trying to be consistent, and I can benefit from that in other places in my life as well.
Exactly. So, I was going to say, maybe we could challenge each other.
Okay.
If we can work on it for maybe like a week or two, try to keep each other on our toes with certain things, make sure we're staying on schedule and everything, because I definitely need to make sure that I'm getting her fed. Somebody else got on me about it too. Just making sure that she eats. They suggested feeding her dinner at 7 o'clock, 6:30 maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit early. I think that's even earlier than senior citizens eat dinner.
No, girl. The senior citizens will be in the bed by 6:30.
Oh, really? Oh, geez. Well, I bet they're up at 3 o'clock because there's no way.
They probably are.
Yeah. So we can check in with each other and give each other some accountability, I guess. Be accountability partners in this and see how it goes. Because after 2 weeks, you may be on a nice flow and something just may click, and that might be it.
Yeah.
Same for me.
He was on a 7 to 7. schedule. She was doing well with her little 7, or she would get up at like 6:30 or something like that. So she was doing well for a couple of weeks there. I was like, oh shit, this is like smooth sailing. Now
Yeah.
we just back to waking up. Damn.
Yeah.
As I get into bed, here she comes crying. I'm like, oh.
The other thing is maybe like when your daughters come, those boundaries, create those boundaries and like, nope, sorry, I don't care if you came in late, playtime is done. We're gonna have to start over tomorrow. I mean, unless it's like a time that they're coming for one day or something, then they won't see her the next morning or something like that. But I think establishing those boundaries, and I have to have some myself. So we'll see. We'll work something out this week.
Yeah. And I think more so it's the excitement of them being in the house, because like even the next day, it's like bedtime routine, same thing, but it's like, no, I want to see what's happening. Now she can, she stands up and she can hang over the crib and see out into the living room.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Door kind of closing. I'm sorry.
I know.
I know, and it's painful, right? It's like,
well, it's hard. I don't want her to be like in the door with the room closed. Like I at least want her to know like we're out here. You know what I mean? Like you can't be a part of the fun, but
oh, she can tell. She was in your tummy, so she can hear noises in there too. So she knows people are there, I'm sure. But may just have to keep it down a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But I think we should check back in and share it with the rest of the world on with our. So when are you going to get started?
I may as well just do it tonight, right? She'll be home tonight, so why not? Depends. I'll see I don't know what time she went to bed last night just yet, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
But tonight would be a good night to start.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. So we'll check back in the next video and see how our sleep training is going and share with you guys. All right.
Best of luck. I'm not gonna say good luck. What do you say? Break a leg? My grandparents used to say, no, it's not good luck. Used to say break a leg, or
I really
can't even say break a leg now, right? What do you say?
I don't know, but we're gonna work it out.
Do it, girl. We're gonna do it.
Yep, exactly. All right, so we'll check back in a week or two and let y'all know how we're making out.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
Peace.